What up, everybody? Time to do another knife review. Today we're going to do another small fixed blade, and when I say small, that's in all capital letters, guys. I'm sure you've seen from the title of the video what we're going to talk about today: the CRKT Minimalist neck knife, and that is an Allan Folts design. This particular version is the drop point version. Alright, now the CRKT has done the Minimalist for quite a few years now, and they've got multiple different versions of it. This is a licensed copy of an Allan Folts custom knife, a custom neck knife that he makes, that he calls the Minimalist also. And it's available in multiple different blade styles, multiple different steels and finishes, multiple different handle materials. Now he also, interestingly enough, does a version that I have seen in the different blade styles with a larger blade. They typically, in the CRKT version, you're around 2 inches to 2 1/3 inches depending on the blade style. And I've seen him do versions in a 3 or 3 1/4 or 3 1/2 inch blade length also. And you know what? I see them pop up on the market every once in a while at places like True North Knives or Arizona Custom Knives or Fort Henry or one of the other custom knife dealers online. So I do see them pop up fairly frequently and in batches. He apparently does batch work on these, because I'll see him hit the market in 10 or 20 pieces at a time. Anyway, like I say, there's multiple different versions of this available from Columbia River Knife and Tool. There's the drop point version here. There is a Bowie version. There is a recurve Tanto version. And then there's sort of a karambit style blade. The Caraman, I think, is what it's called. But it's in the same handle and overall same size. Now, speaking of size, I've got medium size hands, and right now you can see what size this little knife is in my hand. But let's set this down real quick and we will talk some specifics. Let's see, you got a, in this version, you've got a 2 1/8 inch blade, and that's 5 1/2 centimeters. Blade stock thickness, I got 106 thousandths or 2.7 millimeters. The blade width is 950 thousandths, so slightly less than an inch wide, or 24.15 millimeters. The handle length, 3 1/8 inches or 7 1/2 centimeters. The handle thickness was 430 thousandths or 10.92 millimeters. The handle width, I measured on one of these finger choil extensions. That's 910 thousandths, so less than an inch wide, or 23.13 millimeters. Overall length, 5 1/4 inches or 13 centimeters. And then the weight, and this is one of the great things about this little knife: 1.73 ounces, less than 2 ounces for the knife itself, with the sheath, with paracord on it to hang around your neck. It's 2.33 ounces. And that's 49 grams for just the knife, or 65 grams for the knife with the sheath. Alright, we'll set this back down. We're going to speak about the sheath and knock that out real quick. I like the sheath for this knife. It is injection molded. It is not Kydex, but it is injection molded. It's got sort of a texture, and you can see the CRKT name. It is molded for this particular model, so it's not a generic sheath. The fit, the knife to sheath fit, is very positive. There's no play unless you really get on it enough to flex the material itself. There's no chance it's going to pull out, you know, under any type of normal movement around your neck hanging on paracord. And it's done with blackened metal eyelets all the way around to run paracord through, and they give you just this little slide link to sort of cinch it up wherever you want the length of the paracord, and it's knotted at the end. Alright, so that's your sheath for you. And the sheaths are pretty much the same for the different models of the Minimalist, with just the slight differences for the blade style. All right, material-wise, well, this is the one not bad thing, but one thing I wish was different about this knife: the blade steel. Now this is in a Chinese stainless. It's 5CR 15 MOV, and interestingly enough, it is a Chinese version of a German steel. The German steel is X50 CR MOV 15, and it is extremely popular through multiple brands of German kitchen cutlery. It is widely used for that. You'll typically see this steel hardened at 54 to 56 in the Rockwell range. So it's reputed to have good corrosion resistance. It is not going to have extreme high ends of wear resistance, so the edge retention is not going to be the best. It is fairly tough, so impact resistance, you shouldn't have problems with it chipping out or cracking. It's probably going to deform on the edge due to its hardness level long before it chips or cracks. It'll be fairly easy to resharpen. In fact, it should be pretty easy to resharpen. I've never resharpened this one, but I'd say it's very quick to do. All right. Now, this one, like I say, is in the drop point blade configuration because I like drop points. They've also got the Bowie, the recurved Tanto, and the sort of karambit type of blade. But I like drop points, and the drop point is the only model that's available in this black wash finish. The rest of the models, as far as I know, are all bead blast finish across all the other models, unless there is a special edition of them. Now, you do have a length of pretty decent jimping back here. I like this jimping. It is fine-toothed. It is almost the same as Spyderco jimping like you'll see on the thumb ramp for the PM2. Not quite as aggressive as that jimping, but still very good and very useful. A very good addition to this knife. It is a full tang. I mean, you see the stylized, extremely stylized, deep finger choil made handle design, but it is a full tang knife. Those handle scales are cut to fit the tang, and the handle scales on this version are in black G10. The other versions have a different handle scale material, and it is layered green and black, and depending on how it gets finished as to what layer you'll see up top. But it is not listed as a G10. It is listed as an epoxy and fiber material laminate. Basically G10. It's probably somewhere between G10 and a fine sort of micarta, is what I imagine. It's what it looks like too. It finishes out apparently a lot like micarta does. So that's probably what it is. It's just a no-name brand, and micarta is actually a protected name that belongs to somebody, so they're just not calling it micarta. But in this version, it is black G10. The finishing on the handle is excellent. The flat of the handle is textured. It's not super aggressive, but I got to tell you guys, look at those finger choils. The aggressiveness, this texture in the G10 matters nothing in this knife. It could have been slick as oil, and it wouldn't have mattered in this knife, because that handle design, this is how you hold it right here. There is no way that's going to come out of your hand. There's no way that's going to come out of your hand, whether it's wet or not. So that texture, and although it's nice, it's not necessary. I mean, you've got some black Torx hardware holding the handle scales on. I like this overall black look, the black handle scales with the black wash. blade finish. I like a drop point. I love this design. You know, I like to say I wish the blade steel was a little better, but that's neither here nor there. It's what we've got. They do come with this little lanyard, and it's not paracord. It is a nylon type cord, but it is much thinner than paracord. And you can see there is a lanyard attachment hole here at the butt end. But you're not going to get regular size paracord through there, guys. I'm sorry to say, you're just not. But this lanyard, it really does. It's sort of stiff. The weave of it is sort of stiff still, so it makes the knife feel a little bigger, longer in hand, because it sort of acts as part of the handle. It gives that pinky something substantial to wrap around, and it feels pretty good, guys. It is just as comfortable as a bigger knife. This design from Allan Folts was a runaway success for him, and the licensed version of the Minimalist has been a runaway success for Columbia River Knife and Tool. They sell tons of them, and when I say tons, I mean literally tons of these knives. Just about anybody that's into knives has got one of these in their collection. They're that good. Now, I'm not big on neck knives. I'm not a big neck knife person. I own one neck knife. That's it in my whole collection of knives. One neck knife, and you're looking at it, because at least for me, and in my opinion, this is about the best neck knife design on the market. It is very small, very compact, very lightweight. But as you may know yourself, once you get down so small and so lightweight and so compact in a neck knife, you start running into negative trade-offs for that. The handle is not big enough to have a good purchase on for work. You know, typically that's your trade-off, and this handle design just overcomes that at its size. So that is a feature that a lot of very small neck knives come up short on, just because of their size. I mean, once you make that knife so small, it's going to be small, guys. I mean, it's just going to, at some point, it's going to be too small. But this handle design is a fantastic handle design with great purchase, a natural fit. It comes naturally to your hand. Your thumb falls naturally right where the jimping is. It's a long enough run of jimping. This knife is very, very usable. You know, you're not going to get a lot of grip, different grips that are on this knife. You know, to reverse the grip on it is fine. You know, that's fine, but you're not going to be using this very much in, you know, draw cutting, because those choils are going to be, you know, pressed right into your palm. You could use it for that, but it would be uncomfortable after a while. I love getting up in this choil and getting up above the cutting edge. It lets my fingers clear so I can get that cutting edge close to the surface that I'm cutting on. I really like that. And you know, that's sort of a small type of blade. This is a small knife, you know, 2 1/3 inch blade, 2 1/8 on this model. You know, there's not a lot of cutting edge there. So you need to be, this knife is going to be used more for detailed, smaller jobs. You know, yank this out to open an envelope, or yank it out to do some very fine work on a piece of wood you might want to do feather sticks with, or fine notching for any outdoor builds or use. If you have to notch wood, this would be a good blade for that. All right. Like I say, guys, this is the only neck knife I own. It's probably the only neck knife I'll ever own, unless I buy just another one of these models, or buy one of Mr. Folts' actual customs, which I would love to do. They're not crazy priced, And he's got a great reputation as far as his product goes. So, you know, I may buy a custom one day. But this knife, in my opinion, is one of the best small neck knives on the market. And let's rearrange it where it looks a little better, guys. There we go. One of the best small neck knife designs on the market at a reasonable price. I think I paid $24 for this knife. It's in a lower end steel, but it will be easier to resharpen. That's the good thing I can say about it, guys. But overall, the fit and finish is great. The design is fantastic. The price is acceptable. Good sheath. Easy to carry because it's so compact and lightweight. If you are looking for a neck knife, you're not familiar with this model, I don't know how you couldn't be, because I feel like the last guy on the planet to talk about this knife. But if you're not familiar with it, check it out. It is a fantastic little design. Alright guys, once again, I thank you for taking the time to watch one of my videos. God bless all of you, and you have a great day.